I don't really know how I'm going to start this video. Hi everyone, it is Brittany from Green Bee Flowers in Strathroy, Ontario. It's been, I think, a couple weeks since we checked in last. Our last video was dividing dahlias, but we are a few weeks beyond that now. It is the middle of March. Today's the 14th, which means that we are about 2 weeks behind in getting our Ranunculus and Anemones out into our low tunnels. So it kept snowing, and it wasn't quite warm enough yet for me to start putting a lot of our Ranunculus and our Anemones outside. We're in this kind of like awkward time in southwestern Ontario right now where I believe, like, if you've ever seen this chart, we are in well, up until yesterday we were in a third winter. And now, this week, we are supposed to be in the like 9 to 15 degrees Celsius range, which means we have officially entered mud season. Mud season is when I personally like to get the Ranunculus and the Anemones out into the low tunnels. The challenge, of course, for us is that because we don't have a large hoop house, we can't get them out in February, which is what I would like to be able to do in the future. In the meantime, we kind of have to work with what we've got. So we've decided this year that we are putting our Ranunculus and our Anemones in crates, which are the crates that the tulips came in. And the reason I'm doing this is so that I can essentially keep track of all of the different varieties. So our first succession of Ranunculus that we started way back on February 1st are now 6 weeks old, and they are ready to go into the crates. They're going to be headed outside this afternoon to hang out on our front deck in the sunshine, because it's a really nice day. It's like 7 degrees outside right now, which I guess for you Americans, it's 7 degrees Celsius. That will give them a chance to kind of acclimate a little bit, and then this afternoon or tomorrow morning we're hoping to be able to get the hoops out so that we can get those Ranunculus and Anemones put under the hoops. We will continue to cover them with frost cloth for the cold nights, but the goal this year is that we are going to have Ranunculus and Anemones and tulips for Mother's Day this year. We figured that we can get about 6 crates done with all of the corms. I might have miscounted, but we'll see. It's pretty common for me to miscount. And so today I'm working on getting some of the salmon ones done. So I'll plant a crate with you. You can see what we're doing, and then I will take you out to where we're working on hardening them off. So, okay, so these crates here are the tulip crates that the crates that we got our tulip bulbs in. We figured we can fit about 8 to 10 plants in here at about 4-inch spacing, which will give them enough room to grow. What we did was line the sides with cardboard or with like flyer paper or newspaper, so that'll keep the dirt in. It'll also make it a little bit easier down the road for us to remove the dirt and the corms. Here's my Ranunculus, right? So these are looking really good. I'm actually really pleased with how these turned out. These are we're gonna actually put in. Our dirt soil here that we have is just a mix of potting mix, peat moss, and then a little bit of vermiculite. It's actually what our seed starter is as well. I find that this way we're kind of providing all the nutrients that we need without doing a lot of extra bringing in compost. So the challenge with where we are is because it's still quite cold, it's not a good time of year for us to get compost. Like the garden centers aren't even opening up. We can't get it from any of like our farm stores. So essentially we are using our seed starter mix, which they should grow, and then we can add some fertilizer to this if we need to, kind of as the season goes on. But this essentially is going to be perfect. So let's plant some. So at this stage we seed celled our ranunculus, and so they have a really nice root system on them. This was helpful for us because then when I pull them out of here, I'm actually going to be able to reuse the seed tray, which is good because we are going to be starting a whole bunch. So basically what I do is I just take my hand, I make a hole in there with my fingers, in that goes, and around it goes. And that's it. So there we go. So we have 8 in here. And I've left space across the center here where our drip irrigation will run. And that's going to make it nice and easy for taking care of these two in the summer or in the springtime, and that's awesome. So now I'm going to take these out. So these guys are spending some time just getting a little bit of sun and wind so that when they move into the low tunnels tonight or tomorrow, it's not going to be so much of a shock for them under there, and they'll be looking good. So now I get to do this like 60 more times. Slow down. There we go. So we are starting to put our first crates now of our ranunculus under our makeshift high tunnel hoops that we have going on back here. We're going to be putting in another 3 high tunnels today. Our goal is to be able to get most of our ranunculus and anemones in our first succession of ranunculus and anemones in these over the next couple days, because it's gonna get to be like 15 and 16 degrees Celsius this week. So excited. So I'm gonna show you how we put up the high tunnels, low tunnels, not high tunnels, low tunnels. You'll be able to see the process. So my husband Nick is doing some of the hard stuff right now, mostly because a good chunk of the ground is still very frozen. But he's essentially hammering in rebar 36 inches, he's nodding, 36 inches apart from each other, and then we have bent hoops, so you can see them over here. So those bases are 36 inches apart there, and he just kind of created a nice little bendy platform mechanism thing. We used half an inch, I know my measurements, half-inch thick conduit. We kind of debated between the plastic conduit, which is cheaper, over the metal conduit, and we decided to go with the metal conduit because it'll last a lot longer. But essentially we'll take one of these and then it'll go right over pieces of rebar. Sorry, the kids are playing in the neighborhood. So Nick is unpacking 6mm poly.
Yeah.
6mm poly here. We got this off of Amazon, so it's a big roll. It is 100 feet.
12 feet by 100.
12 feet by 100. You can probably hear him, but he doesn't want to be on camera. So I'll give that back. And it is from Farm Plastic Supply on Amazon. Originally we'd wanted to order through Dubois, which is a Canadian supply co for a lot of farming related things, but it's all out of stock. So to Amazon we went. So we're gonna get this on now. Wish us luck.
12 feet because the hoop is 10 feet.
I don't know if you've heard that, but he said it is 12 feet because the hoops are 10 feet. Now, we snagged this idea from actually a few other YouTubes. I will link the videos to their low tunnel how-tos, but a lot of farmers, veggie or flowers, use the large size binder clips, which are able to grasp onto the 1/2-inch conduits really easy, and then that way you can very simply put your plastic so that it is hooked up and remove it on the warm days, which is good. So we like these. If you didn't hear that, friends, I'm going to add a little bit of support on the top. It'll keep the hoops correct distance apart, and it'll keep them from squishing into each other. So there, we have a nice, easy, I would say inexpensive, but costs a lot more to do things now than it did 5 years ago. But it's definitely doable for a home gardener, and it's going to give us a head start on getting all those Ranunculus and Anemones out this week, which I will do another video on. So, best part about these binder clips is that as you put the plastic on, and we can actually swap this out with shade cloth later, but this allows you to roll up the sides of your low tunnel and allow airflow through when it gets warm, and makes it nice and easy to put your protective frost cloth on, which we're doing now because it is still going to hover around freezing tonight. We don't want these babies to get frosted. And then between the low tunnels, because it is still mud season here, we've laid straw, so this is going to help get rid of some of the moisture while we are working, hopefully keep our shoes a little drier. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope you had, nope, that's the wrong words. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, you can comment below. I'll do our best to answer any of them, and I'll also link up all of the products that we used in order to build these, so you guys can do these yourselves. Happy gardening. Bye.